Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Attack on Titan. Last time on Attack on Titan, we had Bystander, where, let's see here. Well, it's been 2 months. It's been 2 months since Historia was crowned queen. She's doing stuff for the kids, and they've created a new Titan guillotine, thanks to Aaron's training in his hardening ability. And then Aaron was trying to remember who one of the scouts was in his vision of his father's memories, and it turned out to be Commandant Chavez. And they went back, talked to him to see if he had any information about Dr. Yeager. And he told his whole story about being a bystander to someone special. And it was all very interesting, actually. I say actually, like it shouldn't have been, but it was. It was very interesting. And then, yeah, hopefully it was also enough to knock Aaron out of his perpetual funk about not being special. So, yeah, we'll have to see, though. And that was basically that. So, this is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. The reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and get right into this episode of Attack on Titan. Here we go. God, that scared me half to death! Goodness gracious, I didn't expect that at all. As the credits started, I was like, oh, you know what, I bet this is the last time we're gonna have this outro, because we're just about halfway through the season, so I would imagine next episode we're gonna have a different intro and outro. And they took advantage of that, and they added a terrifying preview. Oh my god, my heart can't take that, man. That was legitimately terrifying, actually. That was terrifying. We're in for a dark half of season 3. A very dark half of season 3. Oh. I imagine not only was this the halfway point of the season, I would imagine this is also I would imagine they also did a season break. I imagine they went on a little hiatus after this episode, because I know there are anime seasons that do that. My Hero Academia, I know, does that, where they'll basically run through the first arc, and then they'll take a month, maybe a couple month break, and then they'll come back with the second arc of the season. Oh, what is happening? What is happening? I don't. That's so cruel. Because that is a twist, right? Well, not even a twist, but just a cliffhanger. Something's going to go down. Oh. You know what? Because I imagine. Here, give me a sec. Because this is the end of the disc, I didn't think to put out season 3 part 2. I hate that I had to buy this season in 2 separate parts, but yeah, I'm not gonna look at the back or anything like that. So, but on the cover, I mean, looks like we're getting a rematch between Bufford and Little Boy. I don't think that's going to go over well for Reina, considering he has consistently gotten his ass kicked in Titan form. Oh, my heart, man. That was a huge adrenaline spike at the end there, you know? Oh, my God. Because at first, because it's so strange, because it glitches out at first, you know? The credits glitch out at first. So I'm sitting here thinking uh-oh, is something happening to my computer or the Blu-ray player or something? And then, nope, this is the episode. We're just going to terrify you before we move on. God in heaven, that was so terrifying. Okay. Let's talk about the episode. I mean, all things considered, this may be a bit of a shorter discussion because I think we're just going to sort of blast through some of these. Because this was a nice, like, calm before the storm episode, you know? There's actually, when they were going out, this actually reminded me of season 1, where in season 1, the first arc, basically, was, you know, the first big arc was in Trust. And so, you know, it was within a city, and we've had a lot of that here, you know, within a city or walls, although we did switch over to the old catacombs and stuff. And then in the second big arc, that was where we, you know, went out into the forest of giant trees for basically the first encounter with Lean Jean. So, so then it's like, you know, we come over to season 3, and it actually did sort of, I like started to realize that, like, oh, okay, so the first half is sort of like more in the city and stuff like that, and the second half is now going to be going, now granted, they're going to be going to Shiganshina, but it's like, okay, so we're going out again, you know, which is interesting. So yeah. Man, I was having a good time. I was having a good time. And I was just, I was relaxed, and I should never be relaxed with Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan, which is like, I've said this before lovingly, it's like the Game of Thrones of anime, you know? And I mean that in, you know, I hate that we have to specify this now, but like, you guys know Game of Thrones pre everything going wrong at the end, you know? Like, that's what this, hopefully they stick the landing better than Game of Thrones did. But we'll have to see. I'm not even close to that yet, you know? That's season 4 we're talking about there. We're still in the middle of season 3. But yeah, I just, oh my god. Oh, my heart. My heart, man, my heart. I just can't take that. That was so terrifying. And then and it literally was just a preview, and then just, and we're back. Well, goodbye, everybody. It's like, well, screw you. Don't give me that kind of preview. We're probably not even going to get that scene for like 10 more episodes. Like, it's probably going to be a while before we see what the hell happened, you know? Something that's turned Levi against Eren. I don't know. Let's talk notes. So, I like how, I didn't even think about how if Levi had the shot that Kenny didn't use, then they could potentially study it. But it's interesting, you know, they don't have the technology, basically, to do it. Which, I mean, I'm very curious what's going to be in that cellar, you know? That, like, what kind of, I mean, to what degree is the advancement of technology that the Rice family or the Beastie Boy or someone can create Titans, you know? Like, what is this that creates Titans? So, but I like that they are going to try to study it. They do have, you know, they can tell it's some sort of human body fluid, you know? Maybe it's from the original Rice King, maybe it's not, I have no idea. But yeah, but they can't, okay, interesting thing, they said that it evaporates immediately upon contact with air. Which is interesting because Rod, you know, they threw it down, and then it was only like a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds max, that between the vial, you know, the substance hitting the air and Rod ingesting it, you know? So I thought that was kind of interesting that they say that it's like, oh, well, it evaporates in air. It's like, well, are you sure about that? But if that's what they say, that's what they say. And I didn't even think about this, that, you know, I figured, okay, Dr. Yeager just lost his memory, but yeah, the fact that nobody knew him, you know, the fact that nobody within the walls knew him means that he came from the outside, like Rhina, Bertolt, and Annie, which is interesting. So, presumably that's where because, you know, we had, Rod before saying, you know, he had the ability to turn into a Titan, And, where he got that ability, I don't know. And we just assume, like, oh, well, he must have consumed someone who did have that power. Like, and then we were like, oh, well, because maybe that's what, like, Eren did. But, no, that's not it. He must have come from that town, basically. That town where that power was. A power that, the Rice family did have. The Rice family, at least, the founding Titan, the Coordinate, did have, but it was only them, and clearly the Rice family didn't know about this town out there. So presumably, then the first Rice King didn't know about whatever was going on with this town, how they have this power to become Titans, And they do say it's like, there must be someone doing this, turning people into Titans and stuff, and we basically are speculating that it's the Beastie Boy. So I mean, that's the thing, it seems like we have almost two separate villains that they kind of don't really like connect at all. We have the Rice family and the original Rice King who built the walls and changed everyone's memories and everything, but we also have the Beastie Boy doing his own thing and unleashing new Titans and everything. So, I mean, unless it's like the Beastie Boy is rebelling against the Rice family, but then now the Scouts and, the good Rice girl, the good Rice Queen, are now having to deal with him because maybe his rebellion is getting too big. We just don't know because we don't know anything about the Beastie Boy, So, but yeah, Dr. Jaeger had to have been from the same town or the same place as Reina, Bertolt, and Annie, so that's pretty interesting. We're finally going to go see the cellar. Finally, but apparently, according to this preview, there's going to be some freaky shit there that's going to give everyone that 1,000-yard Vietnam stare. Jesus. Oh, I'm not ready for that. But finally, after all this time, we're going back to Shiganshina. We're going back to that cellar. It almost feels crazy that it's taken this long, but it had to have taken this long, obviously. But it's just so interesting that something that we've had since pretty much we knew that Eren could become a Titan, we've always been like, what the hell is that cellar? And now, finally, in the middle of Season 3, we're going to go back to that. I like the conversation between Levi and Erwin. I thought that was really good. How, where it starts off as, oh, you might as well just go ahead and agree, and I'll tell them that I wore you down until you gave in. And then it's actually the opposite, that Erwin is basically so convincing that Levi gives up. And he's like, all right, fine. I'm going to trust your judgment on this. I thought that was interesting. And again, like I said in the reaction, I feel like if anyone could, do that to Levi, it would be Erwin, So I like that. I really did like that. So yeah, and I also like how he says, it's not even really, these noble things that he was saying, but it is sort of a, he's going to be damned if he's not at that moment where all the truth is revealed. He's wanted to find this, and in a sense, it's almost a selfish desire that he has now to try to go and get this. And it's not even like, oh, he's going to help humanity or even prove his father right, but he's just going to go because he'll be damned if he's not there, So I like that. We had the dinner. That was really funny. A nice little comedic moment, I mean, because it kind of reminds me, back at the beginning of the show, when you have episodes 1 and 2, and they are just depressing. They are so sad and depressing. But then you get episodes 3 and 4 where you get, the cadets, and they're all, getting along and stuff. You meet Sasha and Krista and Ymir and everyone, and Jean and Connie as well. And you kind of sit back and it's like, oh, well, this is kind of nice. And then at the end of episode 4, that's when we start the struggle for trust. But I like that. We got a bit of a comedic moment with the dinner. Having to tie up Sasha was really funny. It's been 4 months since Trust, which is interesting. I'm glad they gave that time period, which means from Trust to Historia's coronation is only 2 months of time, which I think is incredible. And then, 2 months that we've had basically in 2 episodes from Historia's coronation to now, which is pretty interesting. I did like the fight between Aaron and Jean. I thought that was really nice. Because, it goes back to that. And I like how they were expected to be stopped by someone. And so they just kept punching each other. It's like, someone's going to come stop us, right? And eventually Levi came and stopped them, but probably the last person you want to stop a fight, because he's just going to stop it by kicking the shit out of you, And I like that's basically the one time that... that's the one time that he has ever, assaulted Aaron, and Mikasa's okay with it, Because the first time at the trial, she got all, hot and bothered. Well, just angry. Hot and bothered, I guess that sort of has some other connotations. Ugh. Well, they're cousins, so it's more of a Sailor Moon joke. Anyway, and then we do see in the preview, he just backhands Aaron, and she, pins him with a sword to his throat, So, I think the dog got up. I'm gonna go check on him. One sec. Anyway, so yeah, it's like, but Levi comes in and breaks it up by, assaulting them further, and Mikasa's fine. She was fine with the two of them fighting, so I just kind of thought that was funny. But yeah, that fight was a nice return to form, and, like Armin said, it was nice to see Aaron being feisty again, Depressed Aaron... Well, it's kind of depressing, It's just like, I don't want to see this boy depressed, So that was a good moment. We also had, maybe we can return things to how they were. Things are going to be different, but maybe things can get back to a good life, basically. And I also like Armin making Aaron promise that they're going to go find the sea. Which is pretty cool. Maybe we'll see that. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Haha. Then we had the send-off. Again, I do like how they were given a rousing send-off by the people, the scouts have never gotten that. And I love, oh, okay, so Jean and Sasha and Connie, they're all like, yeah. But I love Aaron going, It's like, I just love he gets so into it, too. So, that was really, really great. And they got a good send-off, and they are off to find the cellar, which I presume is going to take them straight to Reina and Bertolt and the Beastie Boy. And then the credits decided to give me a heart attack by glitching out, showing incredibly creepy images, ending with a vision of the future, where they discovered something crazy and they were doing something, and Levi just straight backhands Aaron. So something's going down in Shiganshina. So I hope we all enjoyed this nice peaceful episode, because next we move on to something I'm sure is going to be insane. So yeah. So that's basically that. I'm terrified to see where we're going from here. So yeah. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. There's a bunch of links all around the screen that you can click on all around the screen. There's a subscribe, there's a Patreon, there's a playlist for Attack on Titan, and there's some other stuff. Go ahead and click on any one of those. You can drop a like, drop a comment, do all that stuff that YouTubers tell you to do. Listen to them. Have a good day.